What's going on, YouTube? Hope you're all doing well. Happy weekend, happy Saturday. I think for most of you guys, by the time you watch this, it'll be Saturday morning. So I hope you all have a great weekend. And yeah, we are back not only with more basketball content, but more Nikola content. I saw your guys' comments. I see you all. I want to say thank you for all the love shown in that video, man. I think we're almost at 3,300 views on that video, which to me is insane. I never thought one of my videos would reach that many views, especially with basketball. You know, this is crazy. So thank you to all of you. Much love to every single one of you. So, you know, I read the comments, and some of you guys, well, not some of you guys, quite a bit of you guys were telling me, you know, please give us more Nikola content. Yeah, and they're telling me how much you enjoyed that video. But also, some of you pointed out that maybe that video that I chose to react to was kind of lacking in some aspects. They didn't mention some of his accomplishments. However, today isn't really a highlight video that I'm going to be reacting to, because I remember someone mentioned that I should watch the origin of Nikola Jokić. So I thought, you know what? Let's break it apart a bit. You know, let's change the content around for a little bit, because most of my content is reacting to highlights, or well, it is mostly highlights so far for basketball, except for the video I uploaded yesterday, which was the 2016 NBA Finals, which was insane. It's crazy all around. So yeah, I read your comments. I see you guys. So we're gonna watch the origin story of Nikola. I hope this video is good. I haven't seen it. But yeah, I mean, uploaded a year ago, 1.7 million views, and I've read through the comments. They're all positive, which is good. So that gives me a bit of hope that I chose the right video. Now, before we start watching the video, if you have any, as always, you're probably gonna get sick of me here saying this, but if you have any suggestions, any recommendations, feel free to let me know in the comments, especially for the third video for Nikola down the line, which will be another highlight video. So if you guys have any, you know, like any more good videos for me to watch, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, the Discord link is in the bio. It's a new Discord link, should work. Let me know if you have any issues though. So without further ado, enough yapping, let's get to watching.
Nikola Jokić can't jump over a puddle of water, and yet he's the best player in the NBA. The Joker is the best passing big man in basketball history. He bends the reality of what's possible for a center and is the lowest drafted player to ever become the NBA MVP. This is the story of how the pudgy kid from Serbia became an NBA champion and one.
Pudgy kid from Serbia. Now, I used to be a chubby kid, so I feel that, you know. It took me a couple of years before I shed the fat off. It's an interesting title, how a chubby kid became an NBA legend. So, you know, kind of hits for me.
One of the most unusual superstars in NBA history. Nikola was born in Sombor, Serbia, to a poor family that housed 6 people in a cramped 2-bedroom apartment. But what they lacked in resources, they made up for with a love for basketball. Nikola's 2 older brothers were both talented players, and their father loved basketball more than anything. But Nikola wasn't like them. He was a shy, introverted 10-year-old, short and chubby, and PE was his least favorite class in school. When his dad told him that he signed him up for his first basketball practice, Nikola cried and didn't want to go. He began playing the point guard position, and his coaches quickly realized that this chubby kid was pretty talented. Despite being the slowest kid in every game, Jokic could really play, and he soon fell in love with the game. However, when he was 14 years old, Jokic quit basketball. It wasn't that he didn't enjoy the game, but because he found something he cared for more than basketball: horses.
Actually, I quit playing basketball when I was like 13, 14, and I was here for like 6 months. And then my dad needs to convince my trainer to put me back in basketball. So
Nikola would come to the local stables every day after school to clean and feed the noble creatures. However, his father made him return to basketball, saying that he might be able to buy his own stable someday. Jokic played really well in the youth ranks, and this caught the eye of the most influential basketball manager in Europe, Miško Ražnatović. Miško owned his own club called Mega, which he used as a training ground to develop talent, only to sell them later. Ražnatović found out about Jokic through the local newspaper and saw that he was averaging 20 points and 20 rebounds per game. But his first thought was that Jokic was just more athletic than everybody at that level, and that he was dominating because of his physical traits. So when he found out that Jokic was not physically dominant and was actually the least athletic player on the floor, the manager got fired up and demanded that this kid get signed immediately.
Somehow, nobody really paid attention on this guy. This is the first and last player in the 27-year-old history of the agency that we signed him without anybody seeing him.
Without ever seeing him play,
Wow.
Ražnatović signed Jokic on the spot, something he hasn't done before or after. But this proved to be the best decision they both ever made. When he moved to Mega, Jokic started playing for their junior team, winning the MVP of the Serbian Youth League, making the first team All-EuroLeague team for juniors, and a silver medal at the Under-19 World Championship. But despite being really good, there was a problem. Nikola was too heavy to play professional basketball. Jokic couldn't do a single push-up, and he would get exhausted after the first quarter.
When I first started playing basketball back home,
Very
so in
interesting.
Serbia, Belgrade, I really couldn't do a push-up.
At the age of 17, he appeared in 5 games of the first Serbian league and averaged 2 points and 2 rebounds in 10 minutes per game. Mega's coaches gave him a nutrition plan, and they were killing him in practice to improve his conditioning, but Jokic barely shed any weight. They knew something wasn't right, and soon they discovered his kryptonite. Nikola was devouring a Serbian pasty called burek, like there was no tomorrow. Burek is very high in calories. And to make things worse, Jokic would wash it down with up to 3 liters of Coca-Cola every day.
Holy
But what
shit.
Jokic really needed was something healthy and something smart. And that's why what he really needed is to
Sorry for the weird cut. There was just a bit of an ad that they had playing on the video, so I'm just gonna skip that.
transition from junior to senior basketball is hard for every teenager. But luckily for Nikola, it coincided with the return of his older brother Nemanja from America. Nemanja Jokić played NCAA basketball for Detroit Mercy, and he could have been a professional if he didn't hang out with Darko Milicic. Darko was drafted 2nd overall by the Pistons in the 2003 draft, but he was more famous for his partying and bad behavior than for what he did on the basketball court. Nemanja experienced firsthand what can happen if a basketball player doesn't take basketball seriously. Realizing that his younger brother possessed tremendous talent, he influenced him to stop eating junk food and chugging Coke, and not to make the same mistakes as Darko and himself. However, a key role in the development of Nikola's career was Mega's head coach, Dejan Milojevic. Milojevic realized very early that Jokic possessed court vision like no other player he had ever seen, so he gave Nikola complete freedom on the court. In 2023, it became somewhat normal for 7-footers to bring the ball up the court like a point guard. But in 2013, this was unheard of. Jokic had the luxury to handle the ball and not care about making mistakes, something that American centers his age could only dream of.
That's
Jokic
crazy.
showed not only an exceptional talent in passing, footwork, and ball handling, but also an approach to the game that is rarely seen in a 19-year-old. Boyishly playful, without any concern in the world, almost nonchalantly dishing out no-look passes like Magic Johnson.
It's about teammates, you know. When I open, I score. When I pass, you know, play basketball. Just play simple as I can, you know.
In the 2013-14 season, the coach's effort to improve his conditioning finally gave results. Jokic appeared in 38 games, averaging 11 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists in 25 minutes on the court.
See the difference it makes when you have the right people behind you that are actually willing to help you out, not only so they can see, but so you can see your best potential. And it's just simple as changing your diet, as you know, with the same as what happened with Nikola. And yeah, look at the difference. And it's always good to start early, or as early as you can.
After that, Ražnatović put his name in the 2014 NBA draft. But despite Jokic's early brilliance, NBA GMs were not overly excited about an unathletic and chubby 18-year-old from Europe. Ultimately, Jokic fell all the way to the 2nd round and 41st overall pick when he was finally selected by the Denver Nuggets. And when his name was called, the NBA famously played a Taco Bell commercial during the pick, because
No
who
way.
really cares about the 41st pick? But on the other side of the Atlantic, Jokic didn't care either. By the time his name was called, it was about 5 a.m. in Serbia, and Jokic was sound asleep. While most people would be up all night trying to find out which NBA club they'd end up playing for, 0 ducks were given by Jokic. And unlike most drafted players, Jokic wasn't too eager to come to the NBA right away and decided to stay one more year in Serbia. Ultimately, his decision proved to be the right one. Despite Mega finishing 10th in the Adriatic League in the 2015 season, Jokic became the league MVP, averaging 16 points, a league-leading 9.5 rebounds, and 3.5 assists per game. After that, it was time for Jokic to take his talents to America.
This guy's been the top of his game from a younger age. He's just gifted, you know? It's just crazy. But the fact that they played a Taco Bell ad while he was being drafted, that's kind of crazy, man. And just, yeah. I mean, it goes from that time when they're playing a Taco Bell ad to now, arguably the best player in the NBA.
But when he came over to play
Just the time, how things change over
in
time.
the Summer League, Jokic did not excel, averaging 8 points and 6 rebounds in 5 games. The reason was immediately apparent to Denver coaches. No matter how much weight he lost at Mega, he was still not in great shape. So, between the Summer League and the start of the season, Jokic lost 25 pounds in a few months. But there still was one problem for him to showcase his ability. His name was Jusuf Nurkic. Nurkic was a great friend to Nikola, but on the court they were competitors, depriving each other of much-needed playing time. Coach Malone tried to play both of them on the floor at the same time, but that was awful, and there simply wasn't room for both of them. After Jokic averaged 10 points, 7 rebounds, and 2.5 assists as a rookie, and made the all-rookie first team, he started his sophomore season even better. And then Denver executives decided to keep the 41st pick over the 16th pick and traded Nurkic, as crazy as it seemed at the time. But they were not wrong. In 2017, Jokic improved his numbers to 17 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists per game, while also finishing top 4 in the league in true shooting efficiency. In 2018, he was even better, finishing the year averaging 18, 11, and 6, becoming the most versatile offensive center in the NBA. Because he spent part of his basketball youth as a point guard, Jokic was not afraid to dribble the ball, even against much faster players, knowing that he had the big body and technique to protect the ball while running through the paint. Jokic rarely turned the ball over, despite making risky passes that would have resulted in turnovers with most other centers. But unlike Draymond Green, who was a good passer for a big man, Jokic is also dangerous as a scorer. Even though he's probably the least vertical player in the NBA, Nikola still kills you with polished footwork, a soft touch, and a series of head feints that drive defenders crazy.
To be honest, I always say I'm playing this way since I started playing basketball.
His lethal arsenal on the low block and passing masterclass becomes even more dangerous when you factor in his fantastic face-up game, where he becomes the most unpredictable player in the NBA. If he's facing the basket at the top of the key, there is always a danger that he'll sink a mid-range shot or a floater right in the opponent's face. If the defender gets close to him, Jokic can get past, either backing him down or facing up. And if everything else fails, he'll do his patented Sombor shuffle. Like all great players, Nikola developed a trademark move. And just like Jokic himself, it's extremely weird-looking and unorthodox. The Sombor shuffle is a half-step back, half-fadeaway that looks like a crooked and clumsy version of Dirk Nowitzki's legendary one-legged shot. But despite the aesthetics, it's extremely effective.
I hit a couple of those right
I mean, look, if it works, it works. No need to change anything.
foot joints that he shoot on me, like frustrating as hell. You feel like you've done everything you could possibly do to make him take a bad shot, and it hit nothing but the bottom of the net.
And another thing that flies under the radar with Jokic is how strong he is. When someone has muscles, he looks like a strong man. That can be very deceiving. The strength is in the hips, torso, and legs. Nikola is physically stronger than most centers. Others may look stronger, but they are not. Jokic's athletic coach. However, despite Nikola's brilliance that led the Nuggets to a top 5 offensive team in the NBA, their defense was in the bottom 5, and a lot of the blame was on Jokic. His lack of athleticism was even more pronounced by poor stamina, which made him one of the worst defensive centers in the NBA. And despite the Nuggets improving each year and winning 46 games in 2018, they missed the playoffs by 1 game, losing the deciding game of the season against the Timberwolves. But that would all change very soon.
That strength change, condition change helped me a lot on the floor, you know. I don't get tired that much, I feel stronger.
In the 2019 season, Jokić continued the upward trajectory, finishing the year with 20 points, 11 rebounds, and 7 assists per game.
Oh,
he made his
shit.
first All-Star team and first team All-NBA, and the Nuggets finished second in the West, making the playoffs after 6 seasons without an appearance. Denver won their first-round matchup with the Spurs, but they would lose in Game 7 against the Blazers in the second round, despite the Joker averaging a near triple-double. In 2020, Jokić made the All-NBA second team, but the Nuggets regressed, and nobody gave them much chance in the playoffs. And in the NBA bubble, things didn't start well, as Denver was losing 3-1 against Utah in the first round of the playoffs. But largely thanks to Jamal Murray, who got the better of Donovan Mitchell in an offensive duel for the ages, the Nuggets won the series in 7. In the second round against the Clippers, they were in the same hole, again falling behind 3-1 in the series. Then, against all odds, they did it again, made another miraculous comeback, and won another Game 7.
Long distance from Murray.
Nice shot.
Only 11 different teams in NBA history came back after being down 3-1, and the Nuggets did it twice in the same playoffs. However, in the conference finals, the Lakers were too strong, and the Nuggets lost in 5 games. When the next season started, we noticed a significant change in the Joker's appearance. Usually after the season, he'd relax at home, eat tasty Serbian food, and drink Yalen beer. But this time, he came back after the summer break noticeably slimmer and didn't have to spend the first 2 months of the season on a diet just to get into basketball shape.
I think now if this is after the loss to the Lakers, that must have triggered something in him. I think it finally just clicked in his head, like, all right, I need to change. You know, it's, you know, when you start changing and you see progress, some people might be content, I think that's the right word, or they might be just comfortable with what they've achieved, even though you can take it further and improve yourself even more. And I feel like that's what we're about to see with Nikola. It's pretty much the progression of him, you know. And what I like about Nikola as well, from what I've seen so far, is that he does things, you know, he plays it, you know, with his style, sort of, you know what I mean? You know, he has his own mentality and just his own way of doing things.
I just wanted to change something, you know. I wanted to see, can I do it? Can I really change my body? And I lost a lot of pounds, and I feel much better, you know.
Because of this, we've seen his game rise from an all-star to the superstar level, and his numbers skyrocketed. Jokić averaged 26, 11, and 8 for the 2021 season, shooting extremely efficiently from everywhere on the court. But most people already knew that he was an offensive wizard. Where Jokić made the biggest leap was his defense. He still wasn't a vertical rim protector like Rudy Gobert.
Nice block.
But what he couldn't give the Nuggets with athleticism, he made up for in hustle. His smart positioning and long arms made him a plus defender when protecting the paint. And the Nuggets were 4 points better defensively with Jokić on the court. Because of his newfound conditioning, Jokić was second among all centers in steals, he was 4th in the entire NBA in deflections, and 12th in contested two-point shots. Jokić led the NBA in all the advanced offensive ratings, and because of his improved defense, he deservedly won an MVP award. But because Jamal Murray tore his ACL, Denver got swept in the second round of the playoffs. In 2022, the Nuggets didn't have Murray for the season, and they also lost Michael Porter Jr. after just 9 games. Without 2 of their 3 best players, Jokić almost single-handedly led the team to 48 wins and a playoff berth, with stats that were even better than the previous season. Nikola became the first player in NBA history with 2,000 points, 1,000 rebounds, and 500 assists in one season.
How is that possible? Hold on. In one season, 2,000 points, 1,000 rebounds, 500 assists. It's like I've seen the other videos. This guy's not human.
500 assists in one season, which secured him a second consecutive MVP award. His backdoor passes, no-look dimes, and touch-and-go volleyball assists became an art form. And when you're talking about the beauty of the assist, there is nobody in the NBA who does it better than Big Honey. And while many people believed he couldn't improve after that, Jokić surprised the world again. For much of the 2023 season, he averaged a triple-double, eventually finishing just 12 assists shy of a triple-double season average. His conditioning is something that nobody can question anymore, as Jokić is regularly outrunning most centers down the floor, usually handling.
Hard work pays off.
the ball and setting up teammates in transition. But what went under the radar is how efficient Jokic was, and that he had the most efficient shooting season in NBA history. There have been only 5 players in NBA history with a true shooting percentage over 70% for the season. And while Jokic's 2023 season is 5th on that list, everybody who is above him on that list is a center whose offensive diet largely consists of dunks, like Rudy Gobert, Mitchell Robinson, and Tyson Chandler. In 2023, Jokic only
All those players I've never heard of. Let me know in the comments if you reached to this point in the video. Let me know if I should react to them.
had 23 dunks, and his scoring output was mainly floaters, jump hooks, and mid-range shots. Where Jokic is by far the best in the league is in shots between 3 and 10 feet to the basket, which he's hitting with an insane 65% efficiency.
That is crazy.
While Joel Embiid won the MVP over Jokic, many would argue that it's because of voter fatigue, as Nikola once again led the league in almost all advanced metrics. An unprecedented hype around the 2023 MVP race saw many people lobbying for Embiid to get the award, mainly Kendrick Perkins, who accused Jokic of stat padding, along with some very stupid racist remarks, which is better not to get into here.
What does 100 triple doubles mean to you?
I mean, when you start batting, it's easy, you know, so.
But what's maybe even more impressive than Jokic's triple doubles is that he doesn't care about the individual awards. He's all about the team's success. When the reporters asked him about
That's the right mentality that you need, man. Without the team, you're not going to succeed. I'm starting to like this guy even more. Like, not only like, but respect for him.
becoming the first player since Larry Bird who could win 3 consecutive MVP awards, Jokic nonchalantly responded, "Larry can keep the record, I don't care. I bet Bird doesn't even know where his MVP trophies are." While Embiid publicly demanded to win the award, Jokic kept his mouth shut and continued praising his teammates. You'll
Because he's humble. It's called being humble.
never hear Nikola talk about his accomplishments. And since Tim Duncan, there hasn't been a more humble and low-key superstar.
Win on 3. 1, 2, 3. Win. Jeff, are you pumped? You're getting so much better at this. He is. I love it.
But when the playoffs started, Jokic showed everyone who the real MVP was.
Yes, sir.
While the Sixers lost in the second round for the 5th time in the last 6 years, with Embiid's numbers dropping across the board, the Joker dominated. And not only did he dominate, Nikola had one of the best playoff runs in NBA history. In the second round against the betting favorite Phoenix Suns, Jokic averaged a triple-double for the series, and Denver advanced in 6 games. In the conference finals, the Nuggets swept LeBron James and the Lakers, with Jokic averaging another triple-double. Triple-double for the series, and Denver advanced in 6 Suns. Jokic averaged a triple-double for the series, and Denver advanced in 6 games. In the conference finals, the Nuggets swept LeBron James and the Lakers, with Jokic averaging another triple-double.
Full circle. You know, they lost to the Lakers. Focus on his nutrition, his training, came back, dominated. Look at him now.
And then in the finals against Miami, the Joker averaged 30, 14, and 7, leading the Nuggets to their first NBA title and winning the Bill Russell Finals MVP trophy, becoming the lowest drafted player ever to win the award. With 30 points, 13.5 rebounds, and 9.5 assists per game in the playoffs, Nikola became the first player in NBA playoff history to lead all players in total points, rebounds, and assists. The Joker also set the record for the most triple-doubles in a single postseason with 10, while also shooting an insanely efficient 55% from the field, 46% for 3, and 80% from the free throw line.
That is
now
crazy.
You're an NBA champion, Nikola. How does that feel?
It's good. It's good. The job is done. We can go home now.
Yep.
Whatever his team needed, Jokic provided, making correct decisions on nearly every possession and scoring clutch baskets when the game was on the line. In historic terms, Jokic's 2023 playoff run ranks in the top 10 all-time in almost every advanced metric, such as offensive win shares, box plus-minus, and value over replacement player. In terms of points created for his team with scoring and passing, Jokic directly contributed to 55 points per game, which is the best playoff mark ever. His numbers are like someone combined prime Shaq's scoring and rebounding, Steph's shooting, and Magic's passing, all in one. If we look at Joker's playoff...
If that doesn't explain how good this man is at basketball, I don't know what will.
Off averages for his entire career, he's the only player who's in the top 10 in scoring and top 20 in assists and rebounds. Another crazy statistic is that Jokic is shooting 41% for three in the playoffs, which is a better mark than Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Ray Allen. He's also 5th all-time in playoff rebounding percentage and 2nd all-time in box plus-minus, behind only Michael Jordan. But when it comes to player efficiency rating in the playoffs, Jokic sits at the top, in front of Jordan and LeBron. If you didn't know, now you know. Jokic is among the top 5 best offensive players ever. And the things that used to be his weakness, stamina, and defense, have now only become Nikola's strengths. Out of the 16 playoff games, the Nuggets had the 3rd best defensive rating. In 4 out of 5 games in the finals, they held Miami to under 100 points. While most athletic bigs try to block shots, Jokic bothers and baits shots with his long arms while never jumping in the air. Because of this tactic, he never gives up defensive rebounds and is in a perfect position to run the fast break. And when you combine his IQ with active hands and nimble feet, you get an excellent defender. In the 2023 playoffs, opponents involved Jokic in over 40 pick and rolls per game, which was 8 more than any other player. It was obvious that opponents tried to attack him and make him work on defense. But when Jokic defended pick and rolls, it produced just 102 points per 100 possessions. That's a better mark than Jaren Jackson, Anthony Davis, and Draymond Green, and they are the best defensive big men in the NBA. Jokic has signed 2 maximum deals so far, and he's likely going to sign the 3rd one, which will make him the highest paid player in NBA history. But that doesn't matter to him whatsoever. Jokic married his high school sweetheart, and apart from his family, all he cares about is his horses. His father's prophecy came true, and Nikola was able to buy his own stable, and he even races when he's in Serbia, which makes him happier than any triple-double or an MVP award. Not bad for a chubby kid that used to drink 3 liters of Coke a day and couldn't do a single push-up.
Man, I absolutely loved this video. I didn't think it was going to be this good. Now whenever I watch not only basketball, but when I see Nikola play, I'm going to watch it from a whole different perspective, because now I see how he started playing basketball as a kid because of his dad, to quitting, to coming back, and then going on his own pace. He went on his own pace. He did things his own way. Like the video said, he just doesn't care about the championships and the accolades, you know? He knows he's good at basketball. He enjoys playing basketball, but in reality, it's just that he wants to live life the way he wants to, and that's by being humble. You know, he's an extremely humble person. He seems like a very good person. Hard work pays off, man. And when he locked in, when he got his nutrition and training under control, look at that difference that it made. You know, big difference. And I like how he's not letting the accolades, the money, and all the success get to him like many other people. I'm not just talking about basketball. It's just in general. A lot of people let the money take control, and they change the person. But Nikola, man, he's been the same since he was a kid. You know. Now, you know, he's an NBA champion. He's got his horse stable back home. I mean, like a family. What more would you want? You know? But yeah, guys, I absolutely loved watching this video. I'm loving basketball. Now, once this video is finished, I'm gonna go watch the Lakers game 3 against Minnesota, the Timberwolves. I don't know who wins. I hope the Lakers win for Luka's sake. You know, I want Luka to win a championship. Imagine he wins, and it's my first time watching the playoffs. That'll be sick. But yeah, I appreciate all the love you guys have been showing me in the videos lately. If you enjoyed this one, don't forget to leave a like, comment your ideas, your opinion, suggestions for future videos. Otherwise, Discord link is in the bio. Would love to have you in there, be part of the community. And yeah, next video is going to be a hockey video, and then we're going to go back to basketball. So, until the next one, guys, you take care, stay safe, keep grinding. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.